Cristiano Ronaldo, it turns out, did not turn Manchester City down last summer because he loved Manchester United so much. Instead, he simply appears to have misjudged the Old Trafford side's ability to win trophies and compete. Last season did not go to plan for the Portugal international, who scored plenty of goals but took away just as much if not more from the way that Manchester United play, or perhaps more accurately, the way they rather loosely intended to play. Now with the new manager at the helm, Ronaldo is said to be frustrated and concerned at the lack of progress in the transfer market. With the forward now 37, he does not have time to wait around for Manchester United. He needs success now. The chances of that arriving next season appear slim, and so Ronaldo wants out. So much for his supposed love for the club and determination to return to Manchester as a hero. There is a fine line between requesting for transfer offers to be considered and submitting a transfer request. Quite where Ronaldo will pitch up next remains to be seen. If Manchester United even allow their prized commercial asset to leave, with Chelsea and Bayern Munich seemingly having appeared to have moved for other attacking targets. PSG are not currently interested. Barcelona have next to no money, Real Madrid appear far too sensible, and Napoli and AS Roma have been named as two destinations, but they are hardly flush with cash. That, though, is just one of the many problems that Manchester United have currently got to solve all of their own making, as Liverpool pushed to work their way into the Champions League spots under Johan Jurgen Klopp. He sent a clear warning to the likes of Mario Pilkroats, who was being chased by the Reds at the time. Listen to Blood Red Reaction Special. Mohamed Salah signs contract at Liverpool until 2025. Obviously, it's not 100%, but maybe 80%. We are not in the Champions League next year, Klopp said in 2016. So if I would speak to a player now and he would tell me, if you were playing in the Champions League next year, one would be really interested, I would put the phone down from my side. I am not interested. I always tell players, if when you are 35 or 36 and look back on your career and you think about the 1 year when you didn't play Champions League, then you were really a poor boy. There are so many things you can do and reach if you go together with the team. You can qualify for the Champions League, play Champions League, maybe win it or whatever. It is a much more satisfying thing than all the rest. That is what I would say. It is pushing the train, not jumping on the running train. That is what we need here. Pilkroats, of course, never ended up at Liverpool, but Mohamed Salah and others did, and their stock rose with Liverpool's, elevating themselves into a team that regularly qualifies and gets to the final of Europe's top competition. While Ronaldo was just another dysfunctional part of the disjointed team that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had begun to put together at Old Trafford, and will continue to be if Erik ten Hag still has him next season. Liverpool were built more steadily and for the long term. Salah was not a superstar when he arrived, but he very much is now, reflected in the wage packet he has just successfully negotiated. All the while, though, he fitted perfectly into the Liverpool team and helped them develop. They might not realize it yet, but for ten Hag and Manchester United, letting Ronaldo go this summer would work to the new manager's advantage. Ten Hag needs a way to move beyond the static forward, but pushing Ronaldo out of the door would not go down well. Letting their number 7 do that bit himself is the best of both worlds. Liverpool know that having players who either don't fit the style or are not prepared to push the train, or in Ronaldo's case, seemingly both, is simply not a formula that adds up. The longer it takes Manchester United to realize that, the longer it will be before they are competing at the top again. Manchester United may be sitting above Liverpool in the Premier League, but in recent days they've faced a crisis. United beat top 4 rivals Tottenham 2-0 on Wednesday night, but the victory was overshadowed by the conduct of their biggest star, Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo remarkably refused to come on as a substitute and instead walked down the Old Trafford tunnel before the game had finished. The previous weekend, his dissatisfaction had been clear for all to see as he was substituted in a goalless draw with Newcastle United. Tensions between Ronaldo and new manager Erik ten Hag have now boiled over, culminating in one of the greatest players in football history being sent to train with the U21s. It very much seems that his second stint at United is about to come to an acrimonious end. with the Manchester United reporting that the club are even considering terminating his contract. In truth, United should have done all they could to facilitate his departure in the summer, when he asked to leave, rather than refusing to sell him. From afar, Johan Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool can look upon this situation and feel vindicated. When Liverpool are examining players, they place a lot of emphasis on their attitude. Prospective recruits need to be willing to sacrifice their own interests for those of the team. This explains why disciplinary issues have been so rare during the Klopp era. Ahead of his first full season at Anfield, the manager banished Mamadou Sakho for tardiness, but it's worth noting that he was a Brendan Rodgers signing who was promptly shipped off to Crystal Palace. It's true that, from the outside, we can't know exactly what's gone on behind the scenes, but, in this day and age, it's almost inevitable that major disciplinary procedures would have become public. Unlike United, Liverpool agreed to let one of their star players leave last summer in Sadio Mane. Copyright Test 23 goal, 3 trophy exploits last season earned him a second-place finish at the recent Ballon d'Or ceremony and would have been enough for many clubs to stand resolutely in his way. But Liverpool continued a policy Klopp has championed since the early days. "If a player wants to go to another club, then I'd always be open," he said in 2016. "I don't want to have a player in my squad who doesn't want to be in the squad." Liverpool have occasionally put up resistance, most notably in the case of Philippe Coutinho, but in the end, they recognize that it was in everybody's interest to move on. That realization has come too late for United. When Klopp's injury-ravaged side were struggling in 2020-21, he defiantly told the press that "Hey, if a player wants to leave because we don't have Champions League, then I don't want him." This was precisely the reason Ronaldo sought to leave United in the summer, deeming himself above the Europa League and fearing for his Champions League goal record. This epitomizes the player's selfishness, and it was clear to most onlookers that Ronaldo was going to be a toxic presence at Carrington this season. United must now, privately, regret their decision to re-sign Ronaldo. In 2021, there were enough goals to paper over the cracks this season, but this year he has been nothing but an unhelpful and headline-grabbing distraction for the new manager. With the Premier League now hitting pause, the footballing world's attention was expected to turn to the World Cup. Granted, it's been a peculiar build-up to the tournament, with matches taking place over the weekend. There's been no time for excitement to escalate, no world in motion or 3 lions on the radio blasting on the radio nor flags flying from car roofs. And just as those things might have started happening, instead, for the next couple of days, headlines will be dominated by Cristiano Ronaldo's latest antics. Ronaldo is one of the greatest ever players in history, no doubt. His goal-scoring record and the myriad of trophies won during his career, including 5 Champions Leagues, speak for themselves. Yet since returning to Manchester United in August 2021, Ronaldo has proven a divisive figure, and especially over the past few months. It started during the summer transfer window when Ronaldo wanted to depart United after they failed to qualify for the Champions League in his maiden season back. No suitors came forward, though. Then there was the moment he stormed down the Old Trafford tunnel before the full-time whistle of United's 2-0 defeat of Tottenham in October. Ronaldo had been left on the bench for the game and took the shine off the win against a top-4 rival. And while he was dropped for one match, Erik ten Hag, who took over the Red Devils in the summer and was tasked with bringing glory back to the club, reinstated Ronaldo into his plans. Yet Ronaldo has shown no sign of guilt or remorse. Instead, in an interview with Piers Morgan, he gave a scathing assessment on how he feels about Ten Hag and some of the United hierarchy. Ronaldo said, "Yes, not only the coach, but another 2 or 3 guys around the club. I felt betrayed. I don't care. People should listen to the truth. Yes, I felt betrayed and I felt like some people don't want me here, not only this year but last year too. I don't have respect for him because he doesn't show respect for me. If you don't have respect for me, I'm never gonna have respect for you." In truth, plenty believe he should have been frozen out after his petulant antics against Spurs. And even after Ten Hag handed out the olive branch, making Ronaldo captain in last week's 4-2 defeat of Aston Villa, The United chief has been hit with a slap in the face. If Jurgen Klopp was in Ten Hag's shoes, he's already shown how he would deal with Ronaldo. The gregarious German hasn't had too many fallouts with his own players since arriving as Liverpool manager in 2015. Instead, close bonds have been formed with vast majority. Yet there was one incident when Klopp displayed his no-nonsense, ruthless side for the good of the club. During Klopp's first pre-season in charge, Mamadou Sakho suffered the consequences after irking his manager for several minor reasons during a tour of America. As a result, the Frenchman was sent home early from the trip. "It's not that serious," said Klopp after Sakho was banished from the rest of his squad. "He missed the departure of the plane. He missed a session and then was late for a meal. Advertisement. I have to build a group here. I have to start new, so I thought it maybe made sense that he flew home to Liverpool, and after 8 days, when we come back, we can talk about it." While Klopp may have publicly played down the incident, his subsequent actions highlight how he was frustrated behind the scenes. So much so that Sakho wouldn't play for Liverpool again. During the first half of the 2016-17 season, the centre-back was demoted from the senior squad and played just once for the under-23s. Sakho then joined Crystal Palace on loan in the January transfer window before making his switch permanent the following summer. Klopp's decision, at the time, was a bold one. With Liverpool building for a push towards the Champions League, it left only Dejan Lovren, Joel Matip and Ragnar Klavan as senior centre-half options. What's more, latter two had arrived that summer and never played in the Premier League before. But that didn't matter to Klopp. Ensuring the harmony in the squad was imperative. He felt getting rid of Sakho would do more good than bad. Indeed, that proved the case, with Liverpool finishing fourth in the table and booking a return to Europe's elite club competition. The rest is history. Granted, there are commercial revenue aspects that mean Ten Hag's decision with Ronaldo might not be as straightforward. Still, that's something that would unlikely stop Klopp if the Dutchman's position. He knows that the collective is far more important than any individual. Once the world's most expensive player and most sought-after elite stars, Cristiano Ronaldo was given a wake-up call regarding his current standing in the summer as he tried in vain to force an exit from Manchester United. Having only returned to Old Trafford in the summer of 2021, the Portuguese might have scored 24 goals for the Red Devils last season, but it was a miserable campaign for United, which saw them finish 6th in the table and miss out on Champions League football. Not wanting to compete away from the continent's top competition, with the 37-year-old still keen to be a domestic or European champion again before he retires, the forward told club bosses of his desire to leave. Yet what he was greeted by was limited interest, with a number of top clubs distancing themselves from a potential move. As a result, Ronaldo was forced to remain with United and compete in the Europa League for the first time in his illustrious career as a result. Meanwhile, he's not even first choice under new manager Erik ten Hag. It's a stark cry from the previous summer when United, following intervention from legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson, swooped to re-sign the forward from Juventus, 12 years on from his first Old Trafford exit, after he had held talks over a potential switch to local rivals Man City. At the time, Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp had warned against such a short-term transfer with regards to the veteran, suggesting it was a switch the Reds would never be in the market for. "It's not about me to judge that," he told reporters in August 2021. "It's about if other clubs can do things like this. It's obviously not business for the future. In 3 or 4 years we will have the benefit of that. It's for now and immediately if that happens." That is how some clubs are obviously working, and that is absolutely fine, but there must be different ways. There must be a team a year later and 2 years later, for us at least, and 3 years later as well. You need success. We felt that if you can win trophies it is great, but it's not, even with the best squad in the world, possible every year. If that's not possible, you still need to make sure you develop as a team and a club. That's what we did and that's what we do. Anything else is really not in our hands. We watch it like all of you and we'll see what happens. Klopp would ultimately be proven right, given Ronaldo's swift desire to head for the Old Trafford exit door in line with United's flailing fortunes. Yet while Liverpool would never be in the market for the veteran Portuguese, inevitably commanding some of the biggest wages in the Premier League despite his age due to his status as one of the game's greatest ever players. It was a very different story 19 years ago when the then teenage first made the move to England, having caught Ferguson's eye as Sporting Lisbon beat United 3-1 in a pre-season friendly back in August 2003. The Red Devils moved quickly to sign the winger in the £12.2 million deal. Yet the transfer came as a massive shock to then Liverpool manager Gerard Houllier and assistant manager Phil Thompson, who had been in negotiations regarding a £4 million move for the then 18-year-old just days earlier. "I saw him in the Toulon Under-21 tournament and we went for him," admitted Houllier back in 2017. "But we had a wage scale and we weren't paying the sort of salary he wanted." Then Manchester United played a friendly against Sporting Lisbon and all their boys said to Sir Alex Ferguson, "You have to sign him." But I agreed with not breaking the wage structure. "I thought it would cause problems in our dressing room. Maybe we would have won the title with Ronaldo, but we had Harry Kewell, who was outstanding at the time and was very hungry but got a bad injury. After that, he never had the same confidence, the same appetite." Liverpool had believed they were leading the race to sign Ronaldo, prior to United's interaction, and having scouted the Portuguese personally and dealt with the agent firsthand, Thompson has recalled how the Reds missed out on the forward a number of times over the years. "I was invited to watch Sporting Lisbon play Porto in the last game of the season," Thompson said in his 2005 autobiography. Tony Henry, the former Manchester City player and agent, was on the phone on a regular basis to see if he could take us to watch him. "Ronaldo was quite good, but not as impressive as the first time I saw him." Tony was pushing the boy and saying he was a talent. He was saying, "He will only cost £4 million. We had just signed Florence Sinamapong and Anthony Latalek, both on far less than Ronaldo's aspirations, and we would have had anarchy if the other players had found out how much we were considering paying for an 18-year-old kid. We actually went and had a look at him because he was being offered to a lot of clubs by his agent Paul Stratford, and we were being offered him as well. There was Manchester United, I remember being linked, Newcastle as well, and people were wanting him. I went to see the last game of the season over there, in Portugal, and we chatted." That was on the Sunday. On the Monday I arrived back in Liverpool, went into training, we were sitting there, and I said to Gerard Houllier, "This boy's a player. He's great." He'd been offered to everybody for £4 million. He wanted £1 million over the 4 years of his contract and it would have quite easily been done. Next thing, it comes up on the screen on the strap at the bottom of Sky Sports News, "Cristiano Ronaldo signs for United, £12.2 million. Gerard Houllier said, "What the heck's gone on there, Phil? I thought it was £4 million. I thought it was up for debate." He said, "Get on to the agent and find out why." I went over there with the guy called Tony Henry who worked with Paul Stratford and I rang him and he said, "Phil, when I got off the plane I got a phone call and got told you're off the deal." Liverpool's arch-rivals Manchester United are currently involved in two of the transfer window's biggest sagas. The hope of getting Barcelona's Frankie de Jong not going their way and now doing all they can to keep star man Cristiano Ronaldo, with the Reds losing 3 forwards from last season including Sadio Mane and recent reports suggesting the potential outgoing of Roberto Firmino. The club may have no other choice but to bring another forward in. If the Brazilian were to leave, it would leave Jurgen Klopp quite short in the attacking department after losing 4 and only bringing in 1, Darwin Núñez. Despite Manchester United's best efforts, Ronaldo is adamant as ever that he no longer wants to play there and his agent Jorge Mendes is asking around Europe to save him. Would the former Real Madrid and Juventus star be a great addition to Jurgen Klopp this season and would he join United's fierce rivals? Well, according to former Aston Villa striker Gabby Agbonlahor, he would.